Hello, this is a replacement clip because of an error I made in Devanagari video 3-1, where I forgot to share the iPad screen for the first few minutes, up to from 1:41 to 7:18. I forgot to share the iPad screen, so I'm redoing it now, and this is just to show how the vowel signs fit with the simple consonants. That when I say a simple consonant, that is a consonant standing on its own, not in conjunction with another consonant, though I should add that even with conjunction, with the conjunct consonants, exactly the same principle applies. So to rectify that error, for which my apologies again, I will now share the iPad screen, and here we go. Now we've seen how the individual vowels have signs, and if you're writing them, oops, let me just correct this to the right color. For instance, if you're writing an ah on its own, or an ah on its own, or at the beginning of a sentence or group of words, that is ah, and so on their own. The most important thing to remember about joining consonants with vowels is that where a consonant is written in its, so to speak, raw form, let me write a ka here. There are two ways of writing a ka, by the way. It's purely a matter of style. You'll see both in handwriting and in print. You see either with the, so you know, the tail coming down, or like a kind of 8 on its side there. No difference, it's the same letter. This, written as it is, in fact, is not just a K, it's a Ka. It's what's known as the inherent A. So if you write a consonant with nothing else, it is pronounced as a full syllable, Ka. And of course, this is the same. If you want to write a consonant at the end of a word, let's say the exclamation dik, dik, dik mom, fie on me, is when you're blaming yourself, or dik followed by any accusative, you're blaming that person. That is written, and remember, because it's a short e, this is the D, this is the D. This, as I've written it, would be dika. So you put the virama underneath. That's that little stroke underneath. And we put the virama under these as well. Look at that. That makes it ka. That blocks the pronunciation of the vowels. So this now is dik, dik. Normally you will find that used only at the end of a sentence or a word group, or at the end of a verse of poetry, for example. Now let's look at the consonants written with vowel signs. So to write a ka, as we've seen, you just put the consonant sign with nothing else, so the a sound is automatically supplied there. To make a long a, you put a vertical stroke to the right. So that is ka. So I'll write it in full here. If you, so ka plus a are written as ka. The short E is unusual in that it's written before the consonant, and it's the only occasion where we have the vowel appearing otherwise than what we would regard as its normal place. So you put a vertical stroke before, this is ki, now I'm writing short E, and a hook there. That's the ki. The ki is a mirror image. Vertical stroke. Just as a little aside on how to write things, calligraphy, though I'm not a calligrapher, I wish I were, but just generally how the letters are formed. Some people will write it like that and put this upper stroke last. Some people will write it like that, the upright, then the top bar, then the hook, like that. It makes no difference. It's purely a matter of style. I have to say, I'm not quite sure what school children in India are being taught to do now. But if you see Devanagari being written on the various YouTube clips about the script, you will see different ways of writing it. It doesn't actually matter. And in that sense, it's totally different, for example, from the writing of Chinese characters, where the order in which you write the strokes is regarded as part of the correct writing, and children are taught to write the characters in the correct order of strokes. And it's regarded as wrong to do a different order in the Devanagari script. It's a matter of personal style. You will see, for example, if you want to write Buddha, some people will write it like that, but and put the dot, and then separately across the top. Other people would write the whole of the line last, the whole of that top line as one unbroken line last. So Sharanam, for example, some people will write it like that. Others, that's writing the top crossbar with each individual letter as they go along. Others will write like that and put the long crossbar last. Others will make a kind of wiggly bar to help to write it straight and go a little bit like that, wiggly. It's a matter of personal style. It really doesn't matter. I recommend that you look at the various YouTube clips that are available on how to write Devanagari and choose your own style. The most important thing is that it's not culturally important how it's written. Right, so we've done the kiki. Now look at the u. The u, on its own, this is the vowel u, and the u with that hook there to make it long. So that's u, u. Joined with a consonant, it's like this. Here's a k again, and it's this little hook underneath. Ku. And for the long u, it's a hook the other way around. Ku, ku. The syllabic r sound, as in Sanskrit, for example, it's written like this. There's a hook there. And this is the long form of it. You just double it. In transliteration, it's written like that. This is found, for example, in the root kri, or kri, sometimes pronounced, meaning to strew or to scatter. Now, these words I've written here are actually both roots of themselves. This is the root kr, meaning to do. This is the root kr, meaning to strew or scatter. There is also the syllabic l sound, which is very rarely used. In fact, there's only one root of the language where it's used at all, and that is in the root clip. Conveniently, it happens to go only with the letter k. It's never found elsewhere, and it's written like a wiggly L, but with a hook up there. So this is the kl. It's used only in the one root clip, which means to imagine, from which we get the word kalpa, actually, and sankalpa. Finally, we get to the e, I, o, and au, written on their own as initials. Is that this is the e, this is the I. These are written thus in conjunction with the consonant. So I haven't written that very well. More like that. Ke. And this one would be correct, but I prefer to see it written like the second one. That's ke. And kai is written like this. It's the same stroke as the e, but doubled like that. This is kai. Now for o and au, the o is written, you start off as if you're writing a long a, but you put this more vertical hook on top. Now the hook of the e is more horizontal, whereas the hook of the o is more vertical. So o, this is o on its own, written with a consonant. Start as if you're writing ka, but then put that same hook on top. This becomes ko. And for the au, it's the same principle. You simply double that hook. So the vowel au, written on its own, start with a, with that double hook. I haven't written very well again. A double hook there. And the same principle applies when you make the conjunct kau. That's how it's done. So that concludes this little section on the conjunct, or the joining of the consonants with the vowel signs. And at this point, again with my apologies, you can resume on the other video, 3 bracketed 1 at minute 7:18. Thank you.